Welcome to CMV Productions Presents. The goal of this podcast is for those of you who have businesses or those of you who are thinking of going into business to get insight into what other business owners are doing. So hopefully you'll learn from the process. You can apply what we've gone over to your business, and hopefully that will help you in growing your business, which will help us all. And we hope that you enjoy it. We hope that you subscribe, and we look forward to learning together. Hi, Sammi.
Hey,
Welcome to the show.
thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining. For those that don't know you, who are you, and what is it that you do?
Oh, okay. That's a loaded question. I am Samantha Williams. I am a bit of a serial entrepreneur. So I right now run two businesses. I run 628 Digital Design. That is a full service marketing agency and Certified B Corp. And then I also run a nonprofit, which is CMWP Foundation, is an entrepreneurial support organization empowering Black and minority men, women, and children entrepreneurs.
Right. Okay. Why start 628?
So 628 evolved from my first company, which is Sam's Word. So it's still a DBA of Sam's Word, as Cecil knows, because he does my insurance. And so I started Sam's Word many years ago as a professional writing company. And so I was writing on the side while working full time. And I was doing things like business letters and resumes. And then it started to become profitable. Well, people would ask me, how much money do I make doing the writing? And I was like, I can charge people?
Yeah.
And then I started charging people, and they were like, well, how much have you made? And I was like, I don't know, I never tracked it. So then I started keeping a spreadsheet, which even though I still use QuickBooks, I still rely on my spreadsheet every single day. And so I started a spreadsheet, and year over year, started making more money. And I was like, oh, maybe this should be a company. And then I had a cousin from Queens who was kind of just looking for money, and she was like, can I be your assistant? And I was like, I don't need an assistant. I work full time. She was like, no, you need an assistant. And so I hired her, paid her. She was happy. But she designed the Sam's Word logo. She built our website, started social media. And December 2015 is when I launched Sam's Word. But then over the years, I would hire women. I always hire Black women creatives. So I would hire women to help with the writing projects. And then those women had different skill sets. So we were designing logos, building websites, managing social media. And as we got better at the things we were doing, I would add it to the website. And then it was like, this doesn't look like a writing company anymore. And so in 2021, I evolved it from Sam's Word to 628 Digital Design and just rolled in the writing to our services, which is pretty much a differentiator too, because there's not a lot of creative agencies that do writing. They can build a really dope website with no words. They can make really good marketing materials. They look great, but it has the lorem ipsum on it. There's no words. And I partner with a lot of them. So that's fine too. It's worked for us. And so I took my son's birthday, because Sam's Word was, Sammy's Word, right? It was my company. But I wanted to do the same thing when I started 628. And I was like, how do I make it personable? And so his birthday is June 28th. And so I started 628 Digital Design, and we just kept going.
Nice. Very good. Very good. How did you actually get into writing?
It came naturally to me. So I realized it when I was doing my undergrad. We had you had to write your 5-paragraph essays, and I would knock it out. Bing bong, it's done. But my classmates were struggling, and I was like, my son is a math guy, so everything is methodical for him. And I told him, because he's a math guy, and I wanted him to get me and his father's good skills, right? So I do writing and reading, and his father's really good in math, and I'm like, he'll give both, and it'd be amazing. And no, he hates reading and writing and all that. And then I told him, when I think about it, writing is like a formula. When you're writing these 5-paragraph essays, you're following a formula. And if you can follow it, and now we have rubrics and everything, if you follow it, you'll be able to pull it together. Like a paragraph has a certain structure, a sentence has a certain structure. And then when you're pulling together a bigger piece of written information, you're just following that structure. Right. And so I realized my classmates struggled with it, and I'm not getting it out. I'm like, what's the next thing? 5 paragraphs? It's
Right.
simple. And they needed help. And so I started by like tutoring them and helping them. And then people in my family, they just knew I was a strong writer. I don't know how, but they knew I was a strong writer. So I was doing everybody's resumes. I was doing they had a issue with their HR department or something. I'm writing their letter for them. And then I just kept doing it. And I was advertising at one part, but now I stopped advertising writing a long time ago because people just know that's what I do. So even when I started my coaching business, I added content coaching as one of the packages because people are like, I want to work with you. I want you to be my coach, but you could also do some writing for me too. And I'm like, yeah, I can roll in the writing. So then it was an upsell. And it was like people can take advantage of having Sammi as the coach and then having Sammi do your writing. And then in the background, we have the whole marketing agency that I can continue to upsell as I'm working with people.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. You mentioned CMWP. I'm bad with acronyms. Did I get it right?
You got it right.
Perfect. Talk to us about that. Why do that?
So CMWP started about 8 years ago now. And it started because I do a lot of networking. I've always done a lot of networking. And I would tell people all the time, I go into these rooms and I would say, as light as I am, I'm the only chocolate chip in the room. And I'm like, we understand the difference of networking with people like who look like us versus who don't, right? So I've gone to networking events where I hand out flyers and business cards, and they will literally hand it back to me and say, I don't even want you to waste it. You can keep that. Don't give that to me. I was networking with a group in Brantford when I first started.
So I'm sorry. Let me stop you right there. So what do you tell people, right, who are in that situation? How do you deal with that? What do you tell people like, hey, don't let that like, what is your message?
Well, let's preface that a little bit. So the person that asked you, that said, don't give it back to you, what was your thought process when they said that? What was the reasoning you thought that they had behind that? And then let me know how you
in the moment, I was like, that's rude.
Right.
Like you don't even want to just take, even if you throw it away.
Right.
We know people throw away business cards all the time.
Yeah.
Even if you're just gonna throw it away, you're just blatantly like,
Yeah.
I don't even want it.
Right.
My next thought is, this is not my people.
Right.
Like, I don't want to work with you. I don't want to network with you.
Right.
And so that's what I would tell people. If you have a situation like that, understand where you're valued
That's
and
right.
where you're not, and create your own or go find some other place. Because I don't want to be. I don't feel like I have to be accepted everywhere, and it's cool if I'm not. But with the rooms that I'm in, I want to be there because people find value in what I'm bringing, what I'm doing, and also I'm learning from the people who's there, and I want to learn from them.
Right.
And so that's how CMWP started, right? I would go networking, and it was very little of us. And then when I found a black person, usually black women, we're out there. So I find a black woman, and I'm like, ooh, you're a black woman. Let me get your business card. So I was like collecting black women from these different events. And then I had
That sounds like a whole different conversation.
Yes.
But we'll get away from
not
that.
that type of conversation.
It's not that type of podcast.
It ain't that type of party.
No
okay?
diddy.
No diddy.
So I had a group of women from one set of circles I was networking in. And we were talking about, we need to build our own. We can do this on our own. These people, they don't accept us. People do business with those they know, like, and trust. We know that, right?
Yep.
So if they don't get to know you, they're never going to like you. They're never going to trust you. And that is a hard, is it what, an egg to crack? Like, nut to crack, whatever. It's like, you can't penetrate that because they have to first accept you in. When you go to these groups and they alienate you and you feel like you have to force the conversation and force the networking, it's never going to work. Right. So I had one group of women from one set of circles here. And then I had another group of women from another set of circles from networking, and we were having the same conversation of how do we do this. Right. So then I brought the women together, and I was like, I don't have time to have separate conversations about the same thing.
Right.
Let's come together and talk about this. And then we said, we need to create our own space. Let's do Black women networking. Let's build that, and let's put it together. But to do that takes work, right? Like, you guys are working together, right? You have to stick to it. You have to make something come out of it. Right. And I didn't always have the buy-in to get us to the next step of what I knew we could do. And so those, let's say 6 to 8 women fizzled down to like 4 women.
Right.
And then I still wasn't getting the buy-in and stuff, and we wasn't moving things forward. And then I met Letitia, who's our vice president and co-founder of CMWP. When I met Letitia, our sons were in kindergarten together. And Letitia is also from New York. She's from the Bronx. And so the CMWP story is we go to attend the school's play, whatever the kids were doing, and we're both early. We don't know each other. We're both early. We're standing outside the school, and we're actively on our phones ignoring each other because, well, I'm going to talk to you. I don't know you.
All right.
So actively ignoring
Typical
each
New
other.
Yorker, but yes,
Right.
go ahead.
Yes, this is what we do. I don't know you.
All right.
And then we're getting like closer and closer to the front steps, and we're still not talking, doing whatever. And then we end up sitting next to each other for the school event. And then it was kind of like, oh, I guess I should acknowledge your existence at this
Right.
point. And so we started talking, and we realized our kids were in the same grade, the same class, and they're actually really good friends. So they're still like best friends today. So that's how me and Letitia met. But in getting to know her, I was like, I'm gonna bring her in the CMWP.
Right.
What was going to be CMWP? I'm gonna bring her into this networking thing we're doing. And I brought her in, and one of the other co-founders was like, you can't just, because I brought her in and was like, this is Letitia. She's our new co-founder.
Right. You can't just.
And they're like,
right.
you can't just bring co-founders in. Like, what are you doing? I was like, I did. It's done. Letitia's a co-founder. And now here we are. Me and Letitia are the only ones running
Right.
CMWP.
Right.
And so we started CMWP as a monthly networking lunch and learn group. So we would invite all women to come, and we would try to host it at a minority or black-owned restaurant, or get it catered by a black or minority-owned restaurant. And we would talk about different entrepreneurial topics and things. And we were trying to grow a membership. So this was before COVID, so we started like 2018. And we had paper membership applications, and we would have these lunch and learns. And 40 women would come to the lunch, but nobody would become a member. And we were like, I don't understand it. So we had like 6 members, which were like the co-founders.
Right.
And we're like, how do we get more members? So March of 2020, we were planning a membership drive.
Right.
And then that got shut down because it was March of 2020, COVID. And so then we pivoted and said, let's do a virtual membership drive. That's when I met Elisa Bowens Mercado. I was attending a webinar that she was on during COVID, and she was mentioning how she's from New Haven, Connecticut, and she's been in business 20 years with her salsa. And I was like, I don't know her. Who is this woman? And so while I was attending that webinar online, I went to her website, and she was a panel on that webinar. So I went to her website and was like, we're planning a membership drive. Would you be our guest speaker? And as soon as she got done with that webinar, she replied and was like, absolutely, I'm in. So Elisa has been one of our like first founding members,
Right.
and it started from there. And we went from those 6 members in June to August. We had about 25, 30 members.
Right.
A year later, we had 150 members. Wow. And then it kept growing. During COVID, we had a lot of members. Now, Letitia just did a membership audit, and we were at 200 for a very long time, and now we're about 80 strong members.
Nice.
But now that we've also been so busy, so that this year we plan on really engaging with the members and growing the membership more, because we know what we can do.
Right.
We need help, though. We have capacity. And then just keep growing this community. So the CMWP also evolved over time.
Yeah.
So we started as a LLC. We started as a lunch and learn monthly group that we were doing. And then during COVID, we realized that we really should be a nonprofit. So it started as the collaboration of minority women professionals. That's what CMWP comes from. And so we formed a nonprofit that now serves Black and minority men, women, and children. And then we rolled the membership into the nonprofit. So similar to like a chamber, how they have a women in networking group.
Yep.
It's the same exact thing. So we serve all, but we do have a membership for women.
Got it.
Nice.
So if someone wanted to join, where do they go? What do they do?
CMWPFoundation.org. Become a member. It's $25 a month or $199 a year. And if you do the annual membership, you also get extra perks like free membership to local chambers of commerce. We have tuition discounts